Hi there, you asked for it and here it is. The long awaited video to stop bed wetting 5 times faster. I'm so sorry to have kept this video this long awaited, but here it is finally. Okay, so to help a lot of us who in my first video, by the way, if you've not watched it, I'll leave the link here. Go and watch that video on bed wetting. It helped a lot of families. The testimonies kept coming. You can also check the comment section. Okay, a lot of persons also reached out to me. I was like, oh, that video, and all of that. So I really appreciate the positive feedback I got from that video. The views are still climbing and climbing. Okay, so in this video, I've added a few more tips to that particular video. What I'll be doing is that I'm going to be brushing down on what I actually explained in that video, because some persons actually complained that the video was a little bit too fast. Okay, so forgive and pardon. I was just trying not to make the video too long, okay, and in the process I made it too fast for some persons. Some persons really could not relate to what I was saying, especially those from outside country. They actually complained that it was too fast. Okay, so because of the pace of that video, I want to believe that some persons really didn't get me that well, so I'm going to be quickly brushing through what I mentioned in that video. I'm not going to say everything, so if you want to get the full gist, go and watch that video. Okay, it's loaded. So if you're anywhere interested in making your child to stop bedwetting as early as 3 years old, anything below that I cannot guarantee you. Okay, 3 years and above, your child can stop bedwetting. Okay, and this video is also very useful for young adults who are also finding it difficult to wake up at night to urinate and maybe end up bedwetting. Okay, it's a very useful video, so please watch till the end. In fact, my 10 point agenda in this video, the 7th, 8th, and 9th points are, you will not even find that in the first video. Okay, so let's dive right into this video. The very first thing which you must do, whether you're doing it for your kid or for yourself as an adult, okay, to stop bedwetting, is to what? Make up your mind to do the work. Okay, I'm trying not to be fast in this video. If you observe, I'm trying to take my time because I've learned from the first experience that you guys are more interested in getting the value in the content rather than brushing through it. I was thinking people will not be that patient to want to watch the video, but obviously they're interested in what you have to give as long as it's value. Just don't rush them. Point noted. Okay. I also want to point it out and just put it out there that please, it is absolutely normal for toddlers, babies, okay, from day one to toddler age, even up to age 9, okay, to bed weight. But you can actually train a child as young as 3 years old to stop bedwetting. Like, you can get them to the point of waking up on their own to tell you they want to urinate. Okay, at least not to go by themselves. I don't advocate for that, but at least to let an adult know that they want to urinate so you can guide them. Okay, fine. It is also very important for you to know that it is quite hereditary. That's, do your research on that. Okay, bedwetting is quite hereditary, so don't go or blaming your child of 3, 4, 5. Oh, why are you still bedwetting? And you should go and ask your own parents, when did you stop bedwetting? Because sometimes it can be traced. Okay. Firstly, what you need to do is to discipline yourself. Look, fam, there is no other way of putting this thing. You as an adult trying to get your child, okay, or your ward to stop bedwetting as early as 3 years old, you have to be disciplined first, because trust me, it is not easy. Okay, but it is not difficult as well. It's not easy, but it's not difficult. I don't know how you want to calculate that in your head, but just know that it's going to take a small pull on you. Okay, it's not as easy as snapping your fingers like that. Okay, so you need to be mentally ready for the process to even start and to be consistent on it for you to see results. Now, the next thing you want to do to aid your process after determining that this is what you want to achieve, you really want to go all out to achieve this, okay, is to modify the meals, okay, the meal intake. If it's for an adult, you already know how to control yourself. Please, if you're hearing any noise in the background, there's a construction work going on somewhere around me. I cannot control them, okay? They're hitting stuff here and there, and please just bear with me. So for the meal intake, you need to actually modify the portion that you give to your child, especially during the evening hours, okay, that are leading to the nighttime. You really don't want to be giving your child food that can make them thirsty, like beans, granules, all those kind of meals. Anything that you know already makes your child thirsty or even makes you as a parent thirsty, avoid giving them such as dinner. Then also restrict their liquid intake when it gets to maybe 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and all of that. Okay, like 2 3 hours to bedtime, they should not take much liquids at all. What this does is that it makes them to need water less. Okay, because if you give your child something that makes them thirsty, of course they are going to need to drink water, and you know that water is very necessary for digestion and hydration. The next thing you want to do is to ensure that the culture of always urinating at least twice after dinner before bedtime is inculcated, both for the kid or for the adults, whoever is involved in this case. Okay, so after dinner you must have urinated at least twice. Make sure you urinate at least twice before you actually shut your eyes to sleep. That should be a conscious practice. The fourth point is that you should make sure that that child, if it's a case of a child, should sleep close to an adult. Preferably you who is taking up the task to get the child to, be trained to urinate themselves, right? So you bring the child to sleep close to you in your room or whichever part of the house that you're sleeping. And even if you're a young adult, okay, you need somebody who is going to help you to wake up, whether you like to wake up or not. You know, those kind of people that can actually tap you and make sure that you stand up from that bed. Hey, that's the kind of thing I mean. But if it's for a child, just make sure that the child doesn't sleep in his or her room alone. Even if they have a very luxurious room, please, because of this training, bring them to your room. Because sometimes when you think of the stress of standing up from your bed, leaving your room, going to their door, opening their door, going to their bedside, it's a journey mentally, even for you who is the adult. So get the child into your room just for the meantime, okay? A few weeks, a few months, depending on how the child progresses, the child can go back to sleep in their own room. So, but for this particular time, please let that child sleep close to you. For me, I told people in the other video that I made my son to start sleeping in my room very close to my bed. I gave him a smaller bed. I also showed people what I bought for the bed, okay, like a waterproof kind of like bed cover, okay, like a bed sheet pretty much, yes, but it's like a bed cover. You can still put a bed sheet over it just for the comfort of the skin, okay. So I attached that to my big bed and I sleep just by the edge of the bed so that if he ever wants to urinate and he wakes up himself before I even wake up, he can tap me easily, mom, I want to use the toilet. Do you understand? Yeah, so you need to keep that child in your room for easy access and monitoring. Because sometimes these children actually struggle a bit before giving in and just being on the bed because there's really nobody to, see them squeezing and making that noises. If you have actually monitored your child for a while, you can understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, sometimes they are moving, squeezing their legs and trying to, like, show you that they are uneasy, they want to stand up, but maybe they are playing something very important on the other side, so they don't want to really stand up and all of that. So but if you're attentive enough and the child is closer to you, you can easily, detect that sound and, stand up to attend to your child. Do you understand? So point number 5 is the gang of it now. Setting an alarm. I know it's not easy. After the day's stress and activities, you need a little bit of assistance to wake up in the night, if I'm trying to be fair to you and very sincere, okay? So you need an alarm. You need an alarm to help you to wake up at intervals. Okay, now this is something I also mentioned in the other video. I set my alarm for my son, and which is something I also did for my daughter. I told you then that my daughter was still very young. She was over a year, so I needed her to, grow a bit. But right now she's over 3 years old, in the same period when my son stopped, and I did the same thing, and trust me, works. Now what I did for mine was that I'll set an alarm 2 hours after they just slept. So if, for instance, your child sleeps by 8 p.m., immediately you observe that that child is sleeping, set an alarm for 10 p.m. to wake them up to urinate. Remember, before that 8 p.m., you've already taken them to the toilet to urinate, okay? And setting an alarm for like 2 hours. This is for when you're starting. As you progress, they can get to like 3 hours, 3 hours, 30 minutes before they can urinate, okay? But for that starting period, you're trying to get them to master waking up in the night. So don't make the time too long. Some children too can be 1 hour. Depends on your child. By the time you go for the first week, you will understand your child's pattern better. They can change from week to week though. Okay, so that's the part of the job that needs you to make up your mind. Point number 1. Do you get it now? So what do? You set your alarm 2 hours after they sleep, and then another alarm 2 hours after you succeed to make them urinate by that time. Do you understand? If you succeed to make them urinate by 10, set another 2 hours. But if you don't succeed to make that child urinate by 10, what I did was that I will shorten the time. Maybe make it 1 hour, 30 minutes, or 1 hour. Because for them not to urinate in 2 hours span, I don't think they will stay up to 4 hours. They may urinate in 3 hours. Do you get? So instead of making another 2 hours, make it 3 hours or 3 hours, 30 minutes. Just make sure it's not exactly 2 hours more if you don't succeed to make them urinate by that 2 hours after sleeping. You get the point? Another tip you need to always remember, which I was taught, I put into practice and it always worked, is that when you're waking up a child at night, a child that is sleeping, please don't carry that child from the bed and take them to the toilet and expect them to take them back. You think you're helping the child? No, please. When you want to wake up a child that is sleeping, the first thing you do is to call the child by name. The child has a name. Call them by name and tap gently. Okay? See the one I'm tapping. Not bawai bawai, please. I know some of us in this part of the world, we do our things very orderly. So, but please help these children. Tap gently like this, okay? And call them by their name. Get them to the point of responding to you. Let that child at least respond. Come from their sleepy state to at least consciousness before you can carry the child down from the bed. And you don't carry that child to the toilet. You make the child to walk as long as the child can walk. No child of 3 years, except it's a medical issue. There's no child of 3 years who cannot walk. So make that child to walk. It's a mental exercise. It's not because you want the child to suffer. Okay? Please carry this at the back of your mind. You're making that child to walk with their own legs down to the toilet. Okay? Not, please, you're holding the child by the hand. Oh. Don't stand and say, move. No, 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 no. Please don't do that. You're holding the child by the hand because, of course, most of the time their eyes will be shut, but they are walking. Okay? Now, what that is doing is that you're sending a message to the child's brain that whenever you want to urinate, you need to get up from the bed, walk down to somewhere, and then walk back after urinating. It's a process that the brain needs to get used to. Do you understand it now? While they go and come back on their own, on their feet, moving to and fro. Gradually, the brain understands that when I want to urinate, I don't open my legs wide and do it on the bed. I wake up, get off the bed, walk down, then after urinating, you walk back again to bed. That's the mathematics for children. For adults, you already know. Nobody should be dragging you off the bed. The moment you hear your alarm, you stand up and majestically walk to the toilet, urinate as much as you can, walk back to bed, and make sure that your alarm for the next 2-3 hours is set again. Now, one thing I didn't mention in the other video that you also need to pay attention to is the fact that during this training period, especially for children, you need to reduce their vacation time, especially if you're not going with them. You know, all those Christmas holidays, Easter holidays, any holiday, any auntie visit, any grandma visit, any kind of visitation that will make them stay for days, anything up to 3, 4, 5 days and beyond, and you are not there as the person doing this job for them, please let them not go. Please don't take your child on such a vacation that you will not be there with them, because any unnecessary breaks can spoil your progress so far. Okay? So if they're going on holidays, you need to be there with them. And if you're not there with them, you need to have somebody who is accountable to you, who will be as serious as yourself, to make sure that the same routine you have for that child's nighttime routine for, urinating at night is kept. Anybody who can do that job as much as yourself must be there. If not, no holidays for the period of that training, because any 3, 4, 5 days and more break can spoil your progress so far. I don't know if that makes sense to you. It actually works anti-clockwise to take a child on holidays who is in that kind of training process, and you who is helping the child to go through that process is not there with the child to continue. Okay, because first of all, change of environment can lead to a lot of things. They can just lose guard. They are there to enjoy, have fun, play. And so if you're not there to discipline that child, they may just forget themselves, and by the time they come back, you'll be seeing a whole new child. You start afresh, not even where you stopped. You start afresh, and that's not fun for anybody. So please take note of that. This next point number 7, might make you laugh, but it works. Mm. And I have introduced it to a few persons, and it has also worked for some, not all. Okay, it also worked for me, so that's the reason why I'm sharing it, right? If I've proven it, then I can share it. You need to urinate with them in the toilet. Why you take them to urinate? If they say they don't want to, then you tell the child to sit or stand, and while you're holding the child, you urinate while the child is there. Okay, you should do it in a way that you're not fully nude and all of that. Let the child just see that, okay, mommy is urinating or daddy is urinating, whoever. But not see your genitals. Don't say I'm saying you should show your child your genitals. Do you understand? Let them just see that you're sitting down on the toilet seat and you're trying to do something, okay, or you're standing and you're trying to urinate and they can hear that urinating sound and all that. You get? It's not weird. It's actually part of the training. Like I said, don't go exposing your genitals. You should know what to do. You're an adult guiding a child, okay? That way, the child may want to imitate, because the children, they just like to do what you do. Okay, so you urinate, no. But when you see mommy sitting down and urinating, oh, mommy is urinating. While you're doing that, you also tell you as you're holding the child, mommy is urinating. You see, oh, it's good to urinate. Yay, won't you urinate? It works. So as silly as it sounds, it actually works. It has worked not just for me. So that's the reason why I'm putting it out there. Try it with your child. If it works, kudos. Okay, because sometimes just telling them to urinate, they won't even answer you. But when they see that this is what you're doing, oh, okay, let me also try mine. And then the spur of the moment, they've given you what you want. The goal is for them to urinate and go back to bed, right? Point number 8 is that while they're awake, maybe in your playtime, bonding time with your children, practice something, and that works too. Okay, give them like a form of like a sound, and tell them this is the sound you make when you wee. Any kind of song, just form a song. As a parent, now we form songs daily for just anything, just to make them learn and for us to communicate better with them. So if it is psst or brrr, whatever that your child can relate to as a sound you make when you urinate, you people should use it to play during the day when you're gisting or bonding, so that at night, you see, children play a lot and they learn while they play, right? So when you're in the toilet and you're trying to make them weird, maybe they are delaying or they're trying to say, oh no, they don't want to, give them that sound. You know the sound we make when we, for example, psst. Children relate with such things. That's how they teach them in school, with rhymes, with songs, and all of that. So during when they are very much alert and awake, when they are playing with you, when you're discussing with them, look for any way and just give them a sound that goes with urinating. So when you're making that sound, to understand that, okay, somebody's supposed to be weeing, or this is the sound you make when you urinate. Okay, so when you're making that sound late at night when you want them to wee, their brain will quickly tell them, oh, that's the sound, right? Okay, I'm supposed to be weeing. And it also aids you to achieve your goal of them actually urinating and going back to bed. Because you might spend 5 minutes in the toilet begging a child to urinate if you don't know what to do to actually make them urinate. That is if there is urine in their bladder, or sometimes you just know when to give up and go back to bed and reset your alarm. You know that trick we discussed earlier. Okay. So that's that. If this one works for you, fine. The other one works for you, fine. But at the end of the day, the goal is to get that child to urinate, right? And over time to stand up on their own to go and do it themselves. Good. Point number 8 is to seek medical attention. In all of these things I've said, I didn't mention that it can cure an actual disease. Okay, so if this is like something that needs medical attention, I'm in support of you getting medical help. Okay, this is not to replace medical help. If it is a medical issue, for little children, it is absolutely considered normal. But if you're a young adult or a grown adult and you're still, bedwetting, please seek medical help. It's very, very important, because a lot of things can cause, bedwetting. All right, ranging from excessive caffeine, of course, excessive water intake or liquid intake, things like people having a small bladder or a UTI or kidney disease or diabetes, or down to genetics. Different things, different things can cause, bedwetting in adults, okay, or grown adults, young adults, okay. Different things, medical issues can cause a whole lot of things. You can do that research yourself, down to even the death of a loved one. Psychologically, it can affect someone and they can start bedwetting. Okay, someone that is really dear to the person can make them to start bedwetting, because it's psychological, right? And also extreme bullying, and even sexual abuse. Any of those psychological things. Some defects in the body can also cause it. So please seek medical attention. The medical practitioners are in the best position to advise you and help you, okay, medically when it comes to those ones that are caused by medical situations. And the last but not the least point number 10 is to pray. Pray about it. I'm a strong advocate for prayer, and I also stressed it in the first video that prayer can solve just about anything. In my children's case, I prayed, okay, and the progress is evident. I prayed, and please, there is nothing too small for you to pray about. Pray about everything, even if it's a medical issue, it can be taken care of, okay. So I'm a very strong believer in prayers. You pray about everything and you get quick answers, okay. While you're actually working your way through it, you're actually praying to God to also help you, and it works like fire. Okay, so pray about everything, and I know that you're going to get results. I'm so sorry for keeping this video so long awaited. I hope that you found value in it. Please, if you did, leave a big thumbs up on this video. Help me to share this video. The love on the first video is so amazing. Please also help me to share this video. Let it get to a wider audience, okay? Thank you so much for engaging. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Have you tried this out? Is your child responding? What stage are you? What challenges are you facing? Let us talk in the comment section and let's help ourselves, okay? That's the essence of this video in the first place. If you're someone who likes this kind of content, please turn on the notification button after you subscribe, okay? Let it show all. After you subscribe, click on all, okay? Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.